Wesley, happy Father's Day.
You too. Happy Father's Day.
Father's Day just recently passed.
All right.
All right, hopefully the cigar is going to burn good because all the good lighters are not in there. Good cutter wasn't in here.
Well, you know, we make things work.
Yesterday was Father's Day, and
yeah.
I had all my stuff in my travel humidor that I carry with me, and so all my good stuff's in there, and none of that is here with me right now.
That's all right. We'll make do.
All right. Take the glasses out of my pockets. Well, let's get this thing rolling here, shall we?
Yeah.
Today I am smoking the Montecristo-White label.
Mm-hmm. Good smoke.
It is a good smoke. It's a very mellow, mild. This is an early morning.
Yeah, we gotta start doing these on like Saturday night or something.
So yeah, it's a morning cigar for me. Definitely, this is a perfect morning cigar. It's got that Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper. Mm-hmm. It's got a Nicaraguan binder, and the fillers are Nicaraguan and Nicaragua and Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
Because they're made, obviously, the New World. It's a New World Montecristo. And I know a lot of people tell you, oh, they're junk. You know, the New World Montecristos are junk. The New World Cohibas are junk, and which I kind of agree with that one. You know, I still smoke punch cigars. I still smoke Montecristo cigars. H. Upmann cigars. You know, a lot of these that were true Canadian or true Cuban cigars. You know, that are now they're now in the New World. You know what I mean? But to me, Montecristo is still a good cigar. I smoke their white is a great cigar. Mm-hmm. The yellow label, what they call the classic, one of my favorite cigars.
Yeah,
it's just it's always a good cigar. The construction's good on them. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, that's not a real Montecristo." Well, no, it's not a Cuban Montecristo. It is a New World Montecristo, like a lot of these. I mean, people don't gripe about My Father cigars. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. Most everybody loves My Father cigars. The Garcia family. What'd they do? They grabbed a pocket full of seeds and they got out of Cuba when they had the chance.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they came actually to Miami first, and then they built their place over there in Esteli.
Okay.
But nobody gripes about them. Well, it's not the same as when they were, you know, when Pepin Garcia was rolling cigars over there in Cuba. It's like, of course not. It's growing in a different region.
Nothing's the same as when Cuba was the king of cigars. Right? I mean, but as we always say, as time goes on, things change.
Kind of do, don't they?
Yeah.
So yes, so as far as like now the New World Cohibas, I generally don't buy those. I mean, if somebody gives me one, I'll smoke one, but I'm not going to buy one out of a store. I have, don't get me wrong, I've bought some before.
Cohiba.
Yeah, the Cohiba Red. I you know what I mean? That to me was a pretty decent smoke. That was about the only one of theirs that I would buy. The Cohiba Reds. You know, when I first started smoking cigars, I used to buy them. Mm-hmm. But then as I started sampling other people's stuff, it was like, okay, well, I don't like these nearly as much as I like some of these other, you know, the A.J. Fernandez or the Garcia family. I mean, I still like the Fuentes and the you know, Ashton products and Padron, and you know, I started smoking some of these other. E.P. Carrillo is one of my favorites. It's like, you know, then Foundation came along with Tabernacle cigars, and Tabernacles are,
as far as I hear a lot of good stuff about.
As far as I'm concerned, Tabernacle's where it's at. If I could go into a cigar shop and they're like, you can only buy one cigar, I'm probably buying a Tabernacle. That was probably going to be the one I buy. But this Montecristo White label, I like it. It's very smooth, very creamy. I don't get a ton of tasting notes off of it.
I didn't either, but it was just a nice, calm cigar to smoke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be good with coffee if you drank that. I don't, so I'm drinking root beer.
I think when I smoked that, because I think I did that one on one of the podcasts, I think I did bring coffee that day. There was one podcast where I brought coffee because I knew that that's what they said really goes well with it, and I'm pretty sure it was that one.
So what are you smoking?
Have to go back and look, I guess. I am actually, this is a first time smoke for me. I am smoking the Drew Estates-Undercrown Shade. So this, I've had this sitting in my humidor for a few months. I think I got it with you. I want to say it was probably a couple months ago.
I thought so. Yeah, I was going to say, because I think I got the Undercrown Maduro.
Yes, yeah.
Which is a great cigar.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I like the Maduros. I generally smoke Maduro cigars. You know, I like a Maduro. I like the darker wrap. I like that broadleaf. You know what I mean? I like that good Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. I like a nice, dark San Andreas wrapper or something.
Right.
And to me, the Undercrown, the Maduro Undercrown, to me is fantastic for a $10 to $12 cigar, whatever they are. Absolutely fantastic smoke. Yeah,
because the Undercrown is like their poor man's Liga Bravada.
Yeah, the Liga Bravada. That's all it is. It's just got a different wrapper leaf.
Right.
One that hasn't been aged quite as long as their Liga Bravada.
Right. Yeah, this one has the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, a Sumatra binder, which I do smoke a lot of the now I can't think of what it's
Can't
called.
help you.
It's the one that my wife smokes.
Oh, the Groovy Blues?
Yeah. What is that? Tatiana.
All
the Tatiana stuff is Sumatran. So I'm very familiar with the Sumatran flavor. Mm-hmm. And then it has Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. So it's not too far off from yours, really.
Right.
They're pretty similar. This is the first time smoke. I mean, you all know I pretty much only smoke Drew Estates cigars. I don't do that on purpose. I just I'll look at them and I'm like, oh, that one looks really cool, and then I end up finding out that it's made by Drew Estates. Mm-hmm. So, it'd be really cool if they'd sponsor the podcast.
Drew Estates is you're going to get good quality when you're buying anything from them.
Right.
They've been around a long time, long enough to have established themselves now and everything else. So Drew Estates is good. Mm-hmm. I love their Liga Bravadas. They're just too expensive.
Yeah.
I love Padron cigars, but I hardly ever smoke Padrones anymore. For a long time, when I smoked maybe a cigar a month, or it was just an occasional thing. So there was a time way back when, I might smoke 4 or 5 cigars an entire year.
Right.
Well, then it was no big deal back in those days.
Yeah.
And back then the cigars, a Padron 64 anniversary or whatever, if you bought like their 1000 series,
mm-hmm.
I could pick those up for $8 back in the day. If I wanted to go with a 64, I may spend upwards around $20. And if you're only doing that a few times a year, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But as I got to smoking more often, and then I was, more of a once a week, and then I was, a one a dayer, and it was like, well, I certainly can't afford a $20 cigar every day.
Right.
And then I started searching around, and it was like, well, I kind of like this. I like this just as much as I like that. I started smoking those Magic Toast cigars. I fell in love with Brazilian wrapper.
Yes.
And I love Brazilian tobacco. So, when you had stuff like CAO was making the Brazilian. Mm-hmm. Great cigar. And then they had the Triple Maduro, which had Brazilian and the Maduro wrap. It was like, oh my gosh, this is all just fantastic. But I just started finding out that there was a lot of other $10 to $15 cigars I was enjoying just as much as now. That 64 here in Indiana, you're probably going to spend $25-$30 for that cigar, maybe 35. And I don't know, there's so many good cigars at the $10 to $15 range.
Yes.
That I don't find a Padron being twice as good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it better than this? I don't know. And even that, I can't even say construction. Perdomo. Mm-hmm. First time I bought Perdomo, I thought it was Padron. I just wasn't reading the label correct. You know what I'm saying? And I bought it, and I thought, I hadn't seen this one before. I'll just buy this. And I was like, oh, this Perdomo. This isn't Padron. This was years ago.
I'm sure they did that on purpose, though.
And I smoked it was their last names. It's the family name.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And, and I smoked it, and I was like, well, that's actually a really good cigar. And then, of course, I learned more about the Padron family and, their whole line of stuff. And it's like, I think the last podcast I may have smoked the champagne on that. I don't know. I don't remember now.
You did a Connecticut on the last one. We did opposite day that time. The last one I smoked a Maduro, you smoked a Connecticut.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, I mean, the Padron champagne, forever. That was a $10 cigar, and it smoked every bit as good as the Padron. Padron. Their 20th anniversary Maduro, to me, is one of my absolute favorite cigars. And now I smoke a ton of Padron, or a ton of Perdomo. Ton of their cigars, and all their construction is just as good. It's the tobacco's just as good. It's like, I don't know. So yeah, for me, I just learned that there's a lot of good cigar makers out there.
And there's so many to choose from. It's like, I don't understand how people can just smoke the same cigar all the time. I mean, I get, like, if you smoke cigarettes, you know what you're buying. You're not going different unless they're out and you're really pissed off.
Right.
You're buying the same thing every single time you get cigarettes. Just to me, there's too many options with cigars that you need to enjoy all of them.
Right. Same way as with the different leaves. This one here, I'm smoking a Connecticut leaf again. It's early. That's what I prefer. I prefer a milder cigar. Later on tonight, I might smoke. I do have Perdomo 20. I was planning on smoking that for Father's Day. That was actually, I had that for my Father's Day cigar, and I did not smoke it. We had some pretty inclement weather that was going to be coming our way. Fortunately, it missed us completely this time. We didn't really deal with a whole lot.
Yeah. It looked like it was going to come right at us for a second.
It was. We did some serious praying.
Yeah.
And said, Lord, it's got to go a different direction. Less than a week ago, we had the one that came real close. The tornado came very close to us. This one was tracking the same way, only it was tracking just a tad bit north. And that's what we were just a mile and a half, 2 miles north of the last one. It was like, oh man. So it was one of those where I didn't want to get in the middle of a really good cigar that I was really enjoying. So I forget what I smoked last night. I don't remember. Oh, it was my father's cigar because it was Father's Day. So I always have several of my fathers in the humidor, and so I grabbed one of my father cigars and smoked one of those instead. But yeah, I like different. There's times I want something strong, and I'm going to have a good Maduro. You know what I mean, or a good San Andreas wrapper on there, and good broadleaf wrapper. And other times I want something mild, and other times I'll want something with a Brazilian flavor to it. I used to say it all the time, man. Those Brazilias, I used to smoke those, and we have a big 16-foot trellis of blackberries.
Yeah.
These big giant blackberries on there, and I'd grab some of those and eat some of those blackberries while I smoked that cigar. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely perfect that way.
I wonder if you can infuse cigars with natural fruit like that. I don't know how you would do that though.
I don't know.
I guess you'd have to crush them up and soak the tobacco itself in it and then dry it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I don't smoke a whole lot of infused cigars anymore, so I don't. Yeah, I had somebody send me a picture of they were just trying cigars for the first time. And said they had a couple different ones, and one he liked a lot, the other one was okay, but he liked the other one better. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, well, it's got to be a Groovy Blue.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
one
of them was a Groovy Blue. And then
smell those things a mile away.
And it was just the kind that came in a tin.
Okay, so a little cigarillo.
And so then the other one was the CAO. They make those Moon Trance cigars in the tin. I used to smoke
Like I
those.
say, those are pretty
all
good
the
too.
time. They're like a vanilla bourbon or
Yeah.
something like that. I smoked those all the time. You know,
Yeah.
10, 15 years ago, I smoked them all the time. Didn't have an indoor place to smoke. In the wintertime, those are perfect because 15 minutes tops
Right.
and you're done. So they were ideal. Now that I have indoor facility to smoke in, I hardly ever smoke the small ones anymore
Yeah.
like that. And I just know the last time I smoked a Moon Trance, it was like, you know, it's almost too much flavoring. I've gotten so
yeah.
used to smoking regular cigars.
Right.
It was like, that's just almost too much. In fact, the last 10 I had, I ended up giving to your son-in-law.
Yeah. Yep.
He said he liked them. I said, you know what? I got a present for you.
They're pretty good. How's your beard?
The beard's doing great
Yeah.
and wonderful. Yes.
Yeah.
I got this new product I'm using.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Badass Beard Care.
It's a new product you're using?
Had you nervous for a minute there, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
You're like, all right, you old timer, you done lost it now.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm still using my Badass Beard Care. Absolutely love it. Especially, you know, there's something special about using it this year. We're celebrating our 250th birthday. You know, I remember when we celebrated our 200th
200th?
birthday, and I remember all of us were thinking, all right, let's see, la la la. Dear Lord, you know how old I'm gonna be? Because we were talking about the next 300,
Right.
and it's like, you know, well, it's 100 years, none of us are
Yeah.
gonna be here. And then it was like, well, maybe the 50 though.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, I was like, dear Lord, I'm going to be older than Dad by the time that rolls around, you know? And I thought, God, we'd be so old. And I just pictured myself being this old
Yeah.
if I was still alive.
Right.
If I was still alive, I'd just be some old man in a retirement home. You know what I mean? Rocking on my rocking chair, watching fireworks from a porch somewhere
That's
going,
funny.
I remember when. And it's like, holy crap, I'm still an idiot in my mind.
Yeah.
In my body, I'm an old man, but in my mind, I'm still just another 20-year-old idiot. I still think stupid things. I still laugh at fart jokes. I'm just still an idiot. And I was like, God, I thought I was going to be so much older and wiser. And yeah, it didn't happen.
No. I do know right now they do have a special scent out for Independence Day and the 250th, and it's called Firecracker. I haven't bought it yet, so I don't know what it smells like or anything like that. But they...
Was that a slam on white firefighters?
Firecracker. No.
We can say that
All right.
because we are white. Go ahead.
But
So it's a special edition scent that
yeah,
they're doing.
special limited time scent they're doing for the 4th of July and the 250.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, if you look in the description of this episode, there's a link there for you that helps support us. We get a percentage of that, your commission or your sale. We get a percentage of that commission, and if you use code word Steel Horse and discount, then you save 10% off your purchase.
Sweet.
Yep.
And it's just Steel Horse, right?
Just Steel Horse.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's fantastic, man. So yes, make sure you get out there, try this stuff out. If you have a decent sized beard like mine, or if you got a big massive beard, get yourself some of this stuff. They've got the balm, they've got the oils, they've got shampoos, conditioners, they've got deodorant, they've got everything. And the whole reason I went on about how it's fitting because it's the 250th and patriotic, it's veteran owned.
Yep.
They are veteran owned. They're made right here in the United States, and they are veteran owned. And so, all you veterans out there, if you sport a beard or you got long hair or whatever, this is a great company. If you're going to spend your money, you might as well spend it somewhere where you kind of like what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Right on. So make sure you give them a call. Make sure you use Steel Horse at checkout time so you can save a little bit of money. How's that for a promo?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, it did.
How's that?
This is very
White
good.
Series.
Now, I had a hard time lighting it because my lighter wasn't working worth a crap. It's burning
really good.
Look how nice and even. I didn't even light it that good. That's the thing. I didn't even toast the end. I didn't toast the foot. None of that stuff. I just went ahead and lit it because the lighter wasn't working very good. And that thing, even though I lit it wonky, it evened itself right out. And that's what I'm saying about these New World Montecristos. I don't smoke a ton of different ones, but I do like their white label. I like the yellow classic label. Actually, you know, I ended up buying a whole box of their, what was it called? Not Grand Illusion.
Grand Exhibition?
Grand Exhibition.
Like that. I knew a cigar.
Yes. And it was a throwback to the old World's Fairs.
Yes.
And because that used to be back in the day when we used to have the World's Fairs, that was when a lot of these companies like White Owl cigars and all them, they would introduce their new line of cigars at the World's Fair. That was a huge, huge thing back in the day.
Right.
So I know it was Montecristo did some, H. Upman did one, and somebody else did one. But there was 3 different ones that did them, and then they did a small batch. Montecristo did a small batch of the Grand Exhibition, and that's when they used their Canadian or their Connecticut. I'm not with the Canadians.
Some with Canada today.
Wow. So hope all our friends and brothers up in Canada are doing okay, eh? I hope you're all right, eh? But yeah, I bought a box of those. Those were fantastic. That was such a good. I got one left.
Oh yeah.
You ever do that? You ever buy a box of cigars and then you smoke them, and it may take you a year, may take you 2 years to finally finish a box, and then you get to that last one, and it's like, oh, I don't want to smoke it. I've got one of those still in my humidor. I've got one of pretty much everything. I just smoked one of my last Mark Twains. I buy those Maduro, the Maduro Mark Twains. You know, super cheap cigar, but my God, after they've been in the humidor for a couple of years, they're fantastic. They are ultra smooth. I absolutely love them. So yeah, once I get to that last one, they usually sit in there for quite a while because it's like, well, I don't want to smoke my last one. It's got to be a special occasion.
Right. Now we're so busy all the time that it's hard to find a special occasion.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes, you know, that's the other thing too with cigars. Some people buy the same exact cigar over and over, like this one here. This is a Corona.
Yeah.
I don't smoke a lot of Coronas, but when I do, I love them.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't I smoke more of those? You know, on occasion, usually if I'm smoking a Corona, it's because there was a special.
Right.
But they're ideal for nighttime when you don't want to sit. You know, if I get out in the early evening, I get home early and I have dinner early. And if I can come out and sit down and smoke it, and when I say early, I mean like 7:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
I'm not a fast smoker.
It's burning the midnight oil for me.
For you, yeah. But for me, if I can get out here around 7, I'm going to find a bigger cigar.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I can sit and I've got a couple hours I can sit and enjoy a good cigar. Other times it may be later in the day and it's like, man, I'd like to have that cigar, but you know, then Coronas are perfect. I had, what was the last box of Coronas I bought? It was the Knuckle Sandwich.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri. Fantastic. I don't promote a whole lot of specialty or celebrity cigars. Those are fantastic. Those are fantastic. And I forget who he did. It's either Eric Espinoza or it's Steve Saka. One of the two.
Pretty sure that was Espinoza.
I think it is. I think it's Eric Espinoza that he did.
Because he said he wanted to make sure he did it right. He didn't want to just rush a thing to slap his label on it. He wanted it to actually be a cigar people would
one
like.
That he wants to smoke.
Yeah.
Because he's an avid cigar smoker. And so he wanted to make sure I want something that I want to sit down and smoke at the end of the day. And those are really good. And there was somebody was doing a special on those, and I got a box of 20. They were Corona, but it was like, dear God, I got them for like $60 or something. Cigar shops. I've been in some of my local humidor or my local brick and mortar shops. And they're like, dude, I can't get them that cheap. I said, dude, I know. I thought it was a misprint. I knew for sure they were going to tell me this was a mistake. I said, I got the cigars. I said, they didn't charge me anymore. I said, so yeah, I don't know. So yeah, those were Coronas. And sometimes I try to encourage everybody too, is if you always go in and you always buy a Toro, 9 times out of 10 when I buy a cigar, it's going to be a Toro. It's going to be a 6-inch cigar.
Right.
By a 50 or 52-inch ring gauge is generally what I go with. Mm-hmm. And then that's kind of my automatic go-to. But there are other cigars. My father, the Flora de la Antillas, whatever you want to call it. That's probably one of my favorites of theirs.
Yeah.
And I smoked the place where I used to buy them, my local place. Mm-hmm. All they ever had was the Robusto.
Okay.
So they never had a Toro there. They just had the Robusto. I smoked the Robustos all the time because of that. And then I finally went to another place or whatever, and I bought one in Toro size, I didn't like it as much.
No.
I actually prefer the Robusto in that particular cigar, and that's when I started thinking, well, it's the same blend, but it definitely has a different taste to it. So that's when I realized I need to start trying some of these other cigars I said I didn't like. Mm-hmm. Maybe I wouldn't like it in a Toro, but it might be good in a Corona.
Right.
Maybe in a Longsdale. You know what I mean? Try something different. And it's amazing how you'll find certain cigars that you didn't care for, and you try it just in a different size.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, all right, well, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I try to recommend to everybody, man, don't always stick just to the same size. Try different sizes in the same. I am a new member now of, look at that beautiful burn. And that's just a work of art right there.
Right.
When you see that nice even burn, again, that's Drew Estates. You expect that from them, because that's what they do, cigar after cigar after cigar. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so nice.
And I'm afraid that I want to keep it straight up like this, so I don't lose that.
I let mine go out because I'm yapping too much.
Uh-oh.
Let me see if I can get this to work. Not only did it work, but if you want, you can hold it for me and I can light it over there. Dear God.
Don't try that at home, kids.
We are highly trained professionals.
Sure.
Do not use a flamethrower when you're lighting your cigars.
Oh, goodness.
So yeah, I do enjoy trying different varieties, different lengths, different sizes. Mm-hmm. I like trying. That's what I was getting ready to say. I became a member of Cigar of the Month Club.
Yes.
I am part of, and this is no promotion for them. We're not getting paid by them. None of that kind of stuff.
Keeps on giving.
It'd be nice to be paid by them, but Holt Cigar Company out on the East Coast, they have a Cigar of the Month Club, and I know my wife was looking around for something she wanted to get me for our anniversary, and she got me I don't know if it's a year subscription or whatever, but Cigar of the Month Club. Every month, it's usually right around the 12th to the 15th, I get a box in the mail, 5 different cigars.
That's cool.
And what I love about this is why I would highly recommend get involved in a Cigar of the Month Club. Because what happens is, not only do you get cigars you've never heard of, you know what I mean? It's the cigars. This past one, I've got there was a Padron 2000, 3000, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And again, who puts Padrones in the Cigar of the Month Club? We did what's the name of the Miyamura, whatever. It's the same company. It's made by my father.
Yeah.
But there, you know, it's a 97, rated 97. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, but then it goes down to all these other different cigars, and there was 3 of them in this one that is like, well, I'm not familiar with them at all. Now some were from people I knew, like a Rocky Patel. Uh-huh. But it was like the Rocky Patel Velvet. And I was like, well, I've never even heard of this one. And then, well, another one was Kane, which is a division of Drew Estates.
Yeah.
And then there was another one I'd never ever heard of it. But it's so cool because now I've got 5 cigars I can try. One of them happens to be one of my absolute favorites. Mm-hmm. And then, the other ones, even if I've smoked them, these might be a different size, like I was just talking about. And that's what makes the Cigar of the Month Club so cool, because you're not only just trying new cigars you've never smoked before, but you're going to be smoking cigars you've had before, but you may not have ever gotten that particular size.
So you're going to get a whole different note, different flavors, everything out of it.
And it's just so cool to have 5 new cigars that come in the mailbox every month. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think this month it ranged anywhere from a 89 rating up to a 97 or a 98 rating.
That's pretty good.
They put really good cigars in there. One of them, there was the Don Carlos, the Reserva, which is I didn't realize it. I was familiar with Don Carlos, and it's Fuente.
Right.
And so it's kind of like the poor man's Opus X.
Right.
And so, I smoked it and it was really good and everything else. And then I was reading a thing about it and they're talking about, you can't always get these cigars. These are definitely a special occasion cigar. And I was like, crap, I smoked it on a Tuesday night.
Every day's a special occasion.
So, that's the kind of stuff. And that's all I can only speak for the Holtz, because this is the only one I've ever been a part of. But I have been part of it now since April. So April, May, June. I've gotten my third. Yeah. I got my third box this month, and have not had one bad cigar out of there. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely
That's pretty
cool. Yeah.
Holtz Cigars.
Holtz Cigar Company.
This thing's really nice.
They have a good YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah.
Facha
I've
Maz.
seen them, yeah.
Or Maz and Foch, I should say. And that's the other part about cigars I love. I'm watching TV, I'll watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch cigars daily.
Uh-huh.
Tim Swanson, he's going to be in a t-shirt or a flannel shirt.
Right.
He's going to have, the rest of the cast, on there, and they're all goofy, and they're making silly jokes the whole time. They have an hour-long live on Monday nights. I usually watch it on Tuesday because we do a Monday night live every Monday night. And so I don't normally watch theirs live. I usually watch it the next day. I'll put it on there and I'll light up a cigar and I'll watch, an hour-long thing. And they're just regular people being goofy, being funny, being whatever. They're all clean cut, but they're just regular people.
Just regular guys.
But then I'll flip over and I'll watch Holtz, and you have 2 guys that are dressed to the nines, in suits and ties, beautiful leather chairs, and the whole ambiance, fireplace back there, and they're drinking, a high dollar scotch or a high dollar, whatever, with their cigar, and I love that too. Right. They're funny. They do some things. I enjoy watching them, Then I'll watch some of these other ones, Cigar Hound, and the Creek, something Creek. I watch all their stuff, and it's like, that's what I love about the cigar community. There's a time and place for everything. Right. We used to go up to Gillespie's Cigar Bar in Martinsville. It was kind of a classy little joint. Right. You know what I mean? In what most people call a little redneck town in Indiana, they kind of had this little upscale cigar bar. Yeah. And we'd go up there and smoke. But when I went up there and smoked, I usually wasn't in my jeans and t-shirt. Right. I would go up there and I'd usually have a nice button-up shirt on, nice hat on or whatever, and nice shoes, and I'll still be wearing jeans, but
nice jeans, not work jeans.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little more cleaned up. Yeah. And there's other shops I go into straight from work. I'm in my work boots and my jeans that have stains and stuff all over them, and just an old t-shirt. And you can find a mix in between, because I enjoy dressing up and having a nice night out, and then there's other times I enjoy being able to walk in there in a pair of cargo shorts and a and a tank top, you know what I mean, and flip-flops.
It is a very wide range of people that do cigars,
and even though most of the time I am in cargo shorts and t-shirts and flip-flops in the summertime. I still enjoy dressing up at times. So yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun. If you're gonna have a vice, it might as well be cigars, because it's a family. It's a whole group of people. It's just looking really good. So what have you thought about your Drew Estates?
Very good. I can definitely get. It says it has. Tells you, what you're supposed to be able to, the flavors and all that. I don't get much of the flavors, other than I can definitely get a nutty flavor, like a hazelnut kind of flavor with it. Super smooth. I mean, it's burned great. I don't know if that's a crack or just a leaf. I think it might be a crack.
Or a vein.
Or a vein.
Well, and it might be too. It's a little humid in here right now, so it may be swelling up a little bit.
But I know it's running right along the same where this seam down here is, so I think it's just part of that. But I mean, it's very good. Doesn't have that bad aftertaste on your tongue or anything like that.
Right.
That's what I hate, when I try a new cigar and it's like you get halfway done, it's like, oh, I'm gonna like taste this cigar for the next 3 days.
Yeah, there's something about that finish of a cigar where the finish on there, sometimes they'll say it has a nice long finish, and I'm just like, that's not always a good thing.
Right.
Sometimes that, once you get past the halfway point of a cigar, sometimes that finish
turns bad.
It lasts a long time.
Yes.
Something you and I have talked about extensively.
Yes.
And that is, you smoke a cigar, it changes. Everybody does cigars in thirds.
Yes.
To me, I just keep it simple, and it's like, for me, it's usually the first half of the cigar is my favorite part. On occasion, you have those cigars that, now most of the time I do smoke my cigars down to a nub.
Yes, you do.
But something we've always talked about, there are certain cigars I've smoked where by the time I got down to that final third of the cigar or whatever, it's like, it just doesn't taste good anymore.
Right.
Whether it was rolled too tight, sometimes you get one that's rolled too tight, the draw's not that good, you're really working to draw it, and it just seems like those cigars have a tendency to be super hot and just super...
Which really messes with the flavors.
Yeah, like tarry. Yeah. To me, it just gets real tarry. And I know tarry's not a word, but I mean tar as in like tar and nicotine.
Yeah.
The resin.
Yeah.
It's just, it gets thick, and and that's when you're doing that. Yeah. It's like I can't drink enough to get that out.
Right.
And rather than forcing myself to finish smoking that last third of the cigar, just put it in the ashtray and let it go out.
Yep.
It's just kind of one of those things. We talk about it all the time. Why ruin
it?
Why ruin that experience? You were enjoying that great experience of a cigar, enjoying that time. If you're not enjoying it anymore, just put it down and let it go out.
Yep.
For new cigar smokers, never do this. Don't ever snuff your cigar out in the ashtray. When you're done with your cigar, and I don't care how much of the cigar is left, whether it's a nub or whether you still got half a cigar and you're just done, just set it down on the support of the ashtray. You just set it down there. It's going to go out on its own, and it will not put out a foul odor. If you snuff it out, you're going to stink the entire room up wherever you're at, and that smell will never go away. So there's rule number 1, Cigars 101. Yes. Never snuff a cigar out. Just like I said, I explain this to other people only because the first time I was leaving a cigar bar and I was taking the rest of the cigar with me, and so I snuffed it out so I could bring it home with me. And I know now I pissed everybody off inside that cigar bar.
Yeah.
And so to keep new people from pissing everybody off, never snuff out a cigar. Just set it in the ashtray and let it go out on its own.
Yep.
Not to mention, if you are going to relight it, you definitely don't want to snuff it out.
No.
You definitely want to let it burn out on its own if you're going to take it somewhere and relight it a half hour later.
Right. I'm a little worried to take this band off, though, because I think that is cracking
it's
right
gonna
there.
Pop.
Yep.
It's going to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. When you get into the extreme whether it's summer or whether it's winter. Like for us here in the Midwest, in Indiana,
it's a lot of extremes.
It's an extreme. It is extremely humid in the summertime here in Indiana, but it's extremely dry in the wintertime. So you have that, you know, and you've got your cigar that's been sitting in that perfect conditions, right? Some of these cigars for years, they've been sitting in perfect conditions for years, and then we take them out, and I just took it out of a humidor. Maybe, you know, my humidors are usually down around 63 to 65. I keep mine a little more dry because I feel like they burn better and they burn cooler to me. That's just me.
Right.
But if I take that out and light it up, and I'm sitting outside in Indiana summer, and I've got 85, 90% humidity, that super dry cigar now is gonna start sucking up that humidity, and then you get down towards the end, you just take that band off, and all of a sudden that cigar just goes poof.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the cigar's fault. It's not the roller's fault. I mean, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I'm just saying sometimes it's simply because you took a cigar that was in a perfect condition and brought it to an imperfect place to smoke it. And that's just one of the things you kind of have to deal with.
Yeah.
I know you can dry box, what they call dry box, or you can, you know, a lot of times in the summertime I do try to do that. If I know what I'm going to smoke after dinner or whatever, I'll take that cigar out of the humidor, generally take it out of the cellophane and just set it on my kitchen table or whatever. Just set it on the table, let it sit there for about 2 or 3 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Then when I light it up, it's acclimated more to the surrounding temperatures and stuff. I try to do that. My problem is a lot of times I have no idea what I'm going to smoke.
Right.
You know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon is like, oh man, this cigar sounds great right now. Well, then I eat at 6 o'clock in the evening, and at 7 o'clock I'm ready to go smoke that cigar. Well, now I've got a full belly. Now it's like, well, that doesn't really sound that good. Now I'd rather have this, or I'd rather have that. You know what I mean? So for me, it's usually, generally if I set a cigar out, 9 times out of 10, that cigar's getting put back in the humidor and grabbing something else. So.
And then you probably ruined something with it, because now you've gotten it from perfect condition to what it is now, and then you're putting it back in there to get it back to, so it's a lot of movement.
Yeah, and as long as it's gradual, I think you're all right with it.
Yeah.
It's the sudden changes that are bad.
Yeah, which I mean, my jar humidor has slightly risen in humidity because of the humidity going up. So it went from about 60-ish, 61, up to 65 gradually over the last week or 2 weeks. So I didn't think it would be too big of a deal.
Right.
But it must have been. Although that, I mean, because that was one that I just gave you, right?
Yes, it is.
That one's been in the humidor for about a year and a half. Year and a half, 2 years.
Burning good, no cracks. You know, and your Connecticut's, you know, your Connecticut shades are a little more delicate. I gave you one of AJ's New World, the Cameroon wrapper. Yeah. Cameroon wrapper, same way. It's kind of a fragile wrapper.
Okay.
It's. I prefer to smoke those when I'm in an enclosed environment, and but to me those are a little bit more delicate as opposed to your broadleaf Connecticut's and your San Andreas. You know, those are just such thick leaves that they're a little, you know, you can kind of abuse them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Number one thing with a cigar, everybody will tell you, the number one thing is just keep it out of direct sunlight.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a jar humidor, or even these cooladors, like I've got a couple cooladors, you know, they got a glass front on them. The one thing you don't want is the sun shining right in that glass. Now, a lot of the cooladors, they have tinted glass. Yeah. But I still make it a point not to have it facing a window or whatever. Yeah. I want to make sure if it's getting any kind of sunlight, it's all indirect, and therefore the tint is gonna be fine. But that's the worst thing you can do for a cigar, and more so than whether it's out in dry conditions or whether it's out in humid conditions. The biggest thing is the direct sunlight. They'll all tell you that. You know, just whatever you do, it's the biggest enemy of a cigar is sunlight.
It's weird.
And that's not to say you have to find shade if you're going to smoke it outside. None of that. I'm just talking about if a cigar is sitting for a day or two, you know, I can leave a cigar out for a couple days and I can turn around and smoke it, and I'm going to smoke it just fine.
Right.
But if it's sitting on a windowsill where it's baking in the sun,
it's no good.
That cigar is going to be ruined in 2 days.
I do have to say, my Coolador, I keep it in my bedroom, so for whatever reason, my bedroom, my house stays consistently the same temperature year round. It never gets the sun facing directly in it. It's on the back side of the house, and it literally stays pretty much the same temperature all year round. And my Coolador has gotten to the point in the past year where it even if I don't have any Bavetta packs or water in it, it'll stay at 64 degrees and 60 to 65% humidity.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Without, like, I just got fresh Bavetta packs in it. I got a 65%. I was wanting to do 60, and I was like, well, maybe I should do 65 because it should be slightly higher. And I figure it's not going to be able to keep it that high anyways with the fan running. But it is. But, yeah, it's... When you can get those Cooladors dialed in, they work really well. So I know there's a lot of people that just do not like Cooladors either. Like, they're like, you got to have a wood humidor. It's got to be that. And it's like, for the nostalgia purpose, yes, a wood humidor just looks really good. But they are a lot of work.
Yeah, I watch all these shows, and you have all these nice travel humidors, this and that, and when you talk to these guys, these Steve Sakas, these Eric Espinosas, the, you know, Nick Perdomo, and all these guys that this is their life, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is all they've done their entire life. Ask them what they have. They'll tell you, a Ziploc baggie with a Boveda pack in there, and I throw my cigars in there, and that's what I carry all the time. Tab Benoit, you know, he's an artist that we go see all the time, you know, and you go out and, you know, we usually meet him by his bus after a show or whatever and smoke a cigar and stuff, and you know, that's all he does. He's got his big Ziploc baggie in there, and he's got a couple Boveda packs in there, and he's on the road for a couple months at a time before he goes back home, and that's all he's ever done.
That's funny. I mean, if you're traveling like him, like in a bus, that's understandable. If you're on a plane, it's a little harder to do a Ziploc baggie and keep your cigar safe. Right. So I do have a hard travel case for when we go traveling, and we generally fly when we travel, so I feel a little bit safer having them in a hard case. I see how they throw the luggage around. Right.
I'm the same way with the motorcycle. Mine is going to be in the saddlebag.
Yeah.
You know, or if I'm on a long trip and I throw the tour trunk on, they're going to be in the tour trunk. Either way, they're on a motorcycle bouncing down these highways.
Right.
So I always use a good hard shell travel humidor. Depending on how long I'm going, I've got a couple different sizes, and I use whichever one's appropriate for that. So yeah, I always use that. Same as a cutter. I always bring a cutter with me. You know, these guys, if you ever go over to Nicaragua and tour one of their factories and you want a cigar, the one thing they'll all tell you, don't ever ask for a cutter because they'll laugh at you. Nobody uses a cutter over there. No. You just take your finger down, you pick the cap, you know, piece of the cap off of there so you can draw through it.
Yeah.
And I've done that before, don't get me wrong. I've had to do that before. There was a time we were at one of Tab's shows, and I just like, you know, didn't have a cutter for it, and it was no big deal. I didn't think anything about it. I just peeled off part of the cap, and you light it up, and you know, some people you have to have wooden, you know, you gotta light with wood, you know.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do that.
And it's you know, and a lot of them are, it's not even a matter of what you can't use, you know, a sulfur match either. It's gotta be, you know, a sheave, or it's gotta be. Dude,
fire's fire.
They got torch lighters. Now, what I won't use is a regular Zippo.
Yeah.
I won't use dirty fuel, but butane is very clean. And so I use a jet lighter all the time.
Yeah.
I don't ever worry about the wood match. That's just me. So for me, I can pick off the cap. You know what I mean? I can throw my cigars in a Ziploc baggie, and then when I'm lighting it, I'm just going to grab a good butane lighter. You know, some people, oh, you got to have a soft flame. You got to have this and that. It's like, yeah. All I got to do is toast it. Toast it and torch it, and I'm good.
I mean, I'm sure back in the old world days, I'm sure using a match, like how when you look at old movies,
they
do the match.
That's all they had.
That's all they had, and it looks cool. It looks really cool. I've lit one cigar that way, and I said I would never do it again.
Somewhere out here is.
You do have a big.
There's
the
a
long
box,
ones.
a box with the long. It's for lighting your furnace or lighting pilot lights and stuff like that. So it's got the long stick matches or fireplace matches. And there's a box of those out here somewhere. And for a while, that's what I would do. I would light that. I'd use one of ththose big long matches so that way I could toast the foot. And don't get me wrong. Again, time and place. Yeah. We had a friend of mine gave me. He had 2 Cubans left, and him and somebody else had gone in and bought some Cubans and all that. And so he had 2 left, and he's like, "Do you want these?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And me and a buddy, we smoked them, and they were Cuban cigars, and it was like, I forget what the occasion was, but I was like, "Man, this would be the perfect time. Hey, dude, you want this cigar?" Yeah. And we sat there, and it was a true Cuban. So yeah, we lit them with the wood matches, and lit it all and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun, but Monday evening,
right?
Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon.
I'm grabbing
a torch lighter. I'm grabbing a torch lighter and I'm lighting the cigar.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gillespie's. I enjoy every time I've gone up there. I've never had a bad experience up there.
Right.
Do I go up there all the time? No, because that's not my normal routine. My normal routine is getting off work, being filthy dirty, coming home, taking a shower, throwing on a pair of shorts, gym shorts, and a shirt, t-shirt, and then eat dinner and sit down and smoke a cigar. But on the occasion, when I want to, hey, let's get dressed up and go do something, it's just fun.
It is. I've heard rumors that Gillespie's is supposed to be reopening again.
I heard the same thing.
So I'm hoping it's true because I miss going up there.
Yes, Gillespie's in Martinsville, Indiana. It's a fantastic place for any of you cigar smokers. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. Great atmosphere. Pretty good sized humidor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good walk-in size. It's got a full-length wall, 2 short walls, and then, half a wall where the door is?
Yeah. Probably 3/4 because you have a little bit on one side of the door, and then you got the longer section on the other side of the door. So
yeah, they always kept a good selection there. Even because when we first started going up there, I just started smoking cigars, so I did generally smoke only flavored cigars, and they always kept a decent selection of those too, along with all your traditional cigars. And I like that.
Yep. Yeah, you got to have that.
You got to have a good selection, and they generally always had a really good selection. But even in Bargersville, they got the place there, and it's a much smaller humidor, but they pack it out. The last time I was up there with you, they had a very good selection for the amount of room they've got.
They utilize their space well. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. What is the name of that place up there? Because that's a fun place. The people there are always super nice.
Yes. They're really cool. I know.
Again, I've never, because there was another one in Greenwood, right?
Yeah, there's 2 locations. There's one in Greenwood and one in Bargersville. So I know Bam Weather, B as in boy, Bam Weather. They do a lot of their lives from those 2 cigar shops. I can't, for the life of me, I cannot remember what it is. Because the one in Greenwood is on.
I want to say Ambassador, but
it's on the old town square, city, whatever. The old downtown area is where that one is, I thought.
Oh. We were just filming there a couple weeks ago, and we saw there was a cigar lounge there.
Yeah.
We went to go check it out.
Are the same the same company.
Gotcha. Because we were going to go in there, but we were filming in the morning, and they didn't open till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
We walked over there to it because I was like, man, I know there was a cigar shop here, and then I was like, oh, it's a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, we couldn't. Like I said, it was, you know, we were 10 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Filming an early charity ride. So I never got to go in it and actually see it. But yeah,
gotta touch it up. Yep, you did.
Watch this.
Man, that thing was burning so good too. The first half of it.
That's because the last time when I had to relight it, I relight it really bad. But yeah, that was sweet baby Jesus. This one has got to get turned down. How do you do that? Turn that down a little bit. If anybody else needs to use it, they won't. Talk about badass beard.
About let your beard up.
It'll be more like bye beard.
Yeah, if you get into Google, put in cigar shop, cigar lounge around me. So I know I'm able to look at the analytics, so I know not everybody that watches this or listens to it is in Central Indiana.
Right.
Get on Google. There are so many cigar shops. Even smoke and vape shops sell a lot of cigars now. Just Google it. They're everywhere.
They are, especially here in the Midwest.
Yes. Now
you go certain states.
Yeah, different states
like Utah. You're not going to find a cigar lounge anywhere in Utah. Yeah, it's funny, man. You watch, and like Cigars Daily, I watch there, and they talk about some of the different state laws and everything else. And Indiana kind of falls right pretty much in the middle of everything. Yeah. It's, if they do the 12 worst states or the 12 best states, Indiana's not going to be mentioned in either one of them. No. So it's like, we do have a pretty high tobacco tax here in Indiana. Yeah. But they are very open to having cigar lounges and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, here in little town of Martinsville, Indiana, we had a nice cigar lounge. Yep. We had, a regular tobacco store that sold vapes and sold cigarettes, but they also had a walk-in humidor in there. Yep. And they've actually got a pretty decent selection there. I buy a lot of cigars from them. But then, like we were saying, you go up to Barkersville, you go up into Greenwood, the south side of Indianapolis, go over to the west side over by Plainfield. Yeah. There's a fantastic, and it's I never can remember the name of it. It's like Villa, something, but they've got a massive.
I haven't been in that one yet. Every time we film up there, it's one of the times I don't get to film. So I haven't been up to that one yet, but I know you said it is really nice.
They have a great one, and they always stock a lot of the foundation cigars. So there's a lot of tabernacles, the different tabernacle cigars, or that they have like a David and Goliath cigar. They've got a lot of that kind of stuff. It's just it's a really, really, really good cigar shop. Yeah. And they have a nice bar. They have a nice big bar area. If you're sitting out there, you can sit at a bar rail, or you can sit in oversized chairs. But then there's a couple other tables that are just like high top tables you can sit at. You could easily fit. I mean, I would think it would easily fit 75 people. Okay. Easily. That's not crowded. Like I'd say, like Gillespie's, you could fit 50 people in there, but you're going to be.
It's a little.
You're going to be
close.
Tight. You're going to be tight. You better like everybody you're with, because if you had 50 people in Gillespie's, you're going to be shoulder to shoulder.
Which we have done that for different parties.
I'd say the other place in Plainfield is probably double the size of Gillespie's.
Okay. I do know downtown Indy, like, I forget what the name of it. It's by one of the Fernandez, or one of the big names. They've got a really nice lounge up there.
Yeah, there's a couple of them in Indy that are high class. And again, if
you're gonna be sitting in a big leather chair and dressing up very fancy to go in there.
Yeah, again, you're not walking in cargo shorts and a tank top. Is it going to work, folks? Probably not. I don't.
That's all right. I'm getting to the point where it was starting to turn, so it's probably not worth relighting it. For me, I'm very picky about traditional cigars.
That cutter up there that's sitting beside the big square ashtray, that's got a lighter on it too, and sometimes it works.
Oh.
So if you wanted to try that one.
Oh. I forgot this one has that.
Yeah. Yes, it's that one. I always like that one a lot, and then just the lighter part of it starting to wear out. Flip that up. If you just push down on the button, pull down on that little button, and it should open right up.
Okay. 3.
Yeah, it was a fantastic. That was my favorite because it had a nice V cut on there. It wasn't too terribly deep. You know, some of my if I want to put a V cut in there, some of mine are so deep that if you had a Corona, it would cut all the way past the cap itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Whereas
that one there is just the right size for your, you know, if you had a 50 ring gauge, if you got a 48 ring gauge or something like that, it's perfect for that. And I've got another one over there that if you have a big 60 ring gauge, I've got one that'll take that too for a nice V cut. But these are always nice because you have the lighter on there, you have your cutter on there. You know, it's even got it's got the poker on there that you can use. I mean, those are handy to have for when you're traveling because it's got it all in one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got your cutter, you got your lighter, and then this one here, you know, you stand it up on end. I'm not going to because I got stuff on the table. You know, but it's also got the cigar holder on top. Call me funny, but the thought of resting my lit cigar on top of a container holding butane just doesn't seem proper to me. Yeah, this cigar here is very good, still good. And to me, this is kind of like the typical with the Connecticut. To me, as they get towards the end, to me they have to me the finish gets a little worse.
Yes.
On a mild cigar, and maybe it's just because you notice it more because it's been such a mild cigar that when you get towards the end and it starts getting a little bit more of that.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Because when I do smoke a Maduro, I do tend to smoke them farther down. And I don't smoke a whole lot of Maduros.
So what kind of plans you got for 4th of July? You going to do a big celebration with the special holiday being the 250th?
I don't know. I hope so. I pretty much base my weeks week by week right now.
I'm trying to think. So I'm going to be what? I'll be 100 and... I'll be 111.5.
111.5. 250 years. And they did some sort of poll online to see if they think the U.S. could make it another 250 years.
Oh, God.
It was a resounding no. The poll was like 11% for that it would.
Read a history book.
Yeah.
That's all I tell people all the time. Read a history book. There isn't a nation out there that became a superpower that lasted more than 250 years.
Yeah.
Not one.
No.
Not one. By 200 is when they start to decline.
Yep.
When they reach that 200-year mark, is every one of them has declined by then. And by 250, they're usually done. We're at 250.
Yep.
We all know what it was. I just did a thing. You remember back in 2020 when COVID, the pandemic happened, everybody went crazy and started buying toilet paper. Remember?
Yeah.
and people were shopping, filling shopping cart loads up with toilet paper. That became the big deal. And so I never worried about it, but what I started doing was just every week when I went grocery shopping, I would just buy another pack of toilet paper. I wasn't going to be one of those guys that was going to run out there and, oh my God, I'm taking all of it and you can't have any. It's like, I'm just going to grab a roll and I'll just grab one every time I go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 of us in the house, so it didn't take long.
You can only go through so much toilet paper.
Within a couple months, it was like, all right, we've got plenty of toilet paper here. Well, we would use it, and then I, would start buying some others. There's some of it may have been brands I didn't really care for.
Right.
And so it's like, all right, it'll be here in case of emergency. But there were some that was the brand I used. And to look at the rolls in today's packages, I just did this. I ran out and it was like, oh, I'm actually going to open up one of these packs I bought back in 2020.
Yeah. That
roll is almost twice the size.
Really?
Of the new rolls. The tube that goes inside the toilet paper is bigger. It's a bigger tube that goes in there now. And the amount of toilet paper they put around it is about half the amount they used to put. I mean, if you look at the two beside each other, it's like, holy cow. The difference is unbelievable. And I'm paying more for the new one than I did for the one back in 2020.
Right.
And I'm only getting half the amount. It was like, wow.
So
and
instead of inflation, that'd be pooflation.
Pooflation for sure. But that's the thing. They want to sit there and tell you, oh, it's not inflation. The price is still the same. It's like, well, actually, the price is the same and I'm getting half the amount that I used to. That's called inflation.
Yeah.
That's still inflation because you're only giving me half the amount of product for the same price. So I'm paying double than what I used to be if I want the same amount of toilet paper. So
a lot of companies did that.
Yep, just so they can say, see, we're not lowering our price. Like, no, you just, we used to buy a package of pre-made hamburgers, grass-fed, whatever, and you used to get 4 of them for like $3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And $3.50, and it was organic. And now that same package, I can still buy the same package, but there's only 3 in there now instead of 4.
Who gets 3 burgers? Like, seriously?
We do. But yeah, it's now there's only 3 instead of 4, and instead of it being 3 something, where it's almost $4,
right? It's
now $7.
Yeah.
And it's like, and again, I'm just talking since 2020. I'm just talking in the last 6 years. It's just amazing. So if anybody thinks that we're going to rebound from this, we are not.
No.
And not to be gloom and doom, but I'm just saying, when you're $40 trillion in debt, and I don't care who you voted for, I don't care if you're like, well, I knew Trump was going to do this. It's like, well, guess what? Biden did the same thing. Guess
Obama
what?
Did the same
Before
thing.
that, Trump did the same thing. Before that, Obama did the same thing. Before that, Bill Clinton did the same thing.
There was a little Bush in
George Bush, little George Bush did the same thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. I don't care who you vote for. And I know, I'm true blue Democrat. I'm true blue Republican. It's like, they're all part of the same bird.
Right.
Keep in mind, it's the same bird. They may have their ideas and they may have their ideas. But when it gets to here, it's going to be the same idea that Bill Gates, all the rich people, it's whatever they say is happening. Anytime you have a guy like Bill Gates, not only does he not have a medical degree, he doesn't even have a college degree.
Right.
He does not have a college degree. And he was the one that ran our pandemic.
Yeah.
He was the one that was letting us know what we could do and what we couldn't do for health purposes. A man who has no health experience whatsoever. If you don't think money matters, well, then you're not going to get anything anybody says.
What does every movie say when they're trying to figure out what's going on? Follow the
money.
Rich man.
Follow the money.
Whereas on what was it? Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, the Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour. The second one. Follow the rich white man.
That is the truth.
That is the truth.
That is the truth. Yep. It's it's a shame. Not to mention the fact that our parties have all flip-flopped so many times anyway in my lifetime.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I would have been considered more of a Democrat because of my beliefs. Well, my beliefs are still the same. Mm-hmm. And now, not only am I considered more of a Republican, I'm considered an
extreme right Republican.
And it's like, it was just 30 years ago, I was considered extreme left because of these beliefs. Now I've got the same beliefs,
right?
But your parties have switched so much. Mm-hmm. It's just bizarre to me.
They haven't even switched. The center has moved so far to the left. So I watch way too many, or listen to way too many podcasts, and everybody's kind of, they're all saying the same thing that we're saying. It's like, okay, I've never been on this side, but yet I'm considered this side. It's like, the parties didn't flip. The center line has moved so far to the left.
Well,
that to be in the center now is to be, a 70s or 80s Democrat.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I look at all the people that, back when protesting in the 60s and 70s, when protesting and this and that, I mean, we all hated big government.
True. Yeah.
We wanted small government. Mm-hmm. We wanted less cameras. We were against, we called it Big Brother back in the day. Big Brother is always watching you, and it's like, we got to do away with this. This is gonna be the end of our society if we allow the government to continue putting more cameras out there and watching more things. We don't want that. We want state government. We don't want big federal government. We want to go back to how this country was set up, to have little state, have your states have your bigger thing, where your federal government was very small.
Yes.
And each state governed themselves. You get 50 choices where you want to live.
Right.
By what laws you have in those states. And that's what all the Democrats wanted. We all wanted that stuff. We wanted it to be fair like that. We wanted freedom of choice. We wanted freedom of religion. We wanted freedom of speech. We wanted freedom of all that stuff. Don't censor me.
Right.
That's what a Democrat stood for.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Then,
Now it's the Democrats that want more cameras.
Yep.
They want more rules and regulations. They want bigger federal government. They want less choice, less freedom of choice.
Right.
They still want their choice as far as abortion.
Right.
Well, we got to have freedom of choice for that abortion. But you don't have a freedom of choice whether or not you want to smoke a cigar. You don't have freedom of choice whether you want to wear a seatbelt while you're driving a car, or whether you wear a helmet when you're riding a motorcycle, or, whether you believe it's right to spank a child when they do something wrong, or whether you believe in just always just ignoring it and letting them be brats.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want censorship now, Mm-hmm. Neil Young, the man who wrote the song "Keep on Rocking in the Free World," demanded them ban President Trump from a social media platform, and if they didn't, he was going to take his name away from there.
Yeah.
The man who wrote songs bashing the government for censorship was now demanding censorship. It's like, you can't become any more opposite of what you used to believe.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, and I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, you have to believe exactly what they believe.
Right.
Or you are the enemy.
Yes.
And it's like, but I don't agree with everything you agree.
Right.
I don't agree with everything they believe.
Yeah.
I try to fit somewhere in the middle. It's like, I never vote, I'm voting, okay, all Republican.
Right.
I'm voting all Democrat. I've never done that.
Yeah.
Because I like some Democrats. I like some Republicans. And, anymore, I don't really like many of anybody anymore.
Right. That's what I tell people all the time. It's like, yes, I probably lean more to the right, politically, but I'm voting common sense.
Right.
And I know plenty of people on the left that still have common sense.
Yep.
And there's enough people on the right that still have common sense, but they're in the center. You don't need to be far to the left. You don't need to be far to the right. You need to have people from both sides to keep everything balanced.
Exactly.
But you got to keep them both towards the center to be able to keep the balance.
Yeah. Yeah, the center has to stay in the center.
Yes. Yeah, and it's always this far, you go from one extreme to the other extreme, and back to the other extreme, and back to the other extreme. It's like, just go right here.
Right?
You go right here, everything makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's crazy. And yes, because I am a Christian minister, and so therefore I live my life according to the Bible.
Right.
Not that I'm perfect, because I trust me, there's plenty of times I've done things and I knew when I was doing it, this is not right, and I still did them anyway, because I am a flawed human being. But I try, the Bible is my guide. Mm-hmm. That is what I use to live my life and try to do the best that I can. And just because of that alone, now I'm considered extreme right.
Yes.
Just because, again, back in the 70s,
right.
because I was if you were a born again believer and you were a good Christian person, you were automatically considered left.
Right.
No left.
Yeah.
But now it's just the opposite, and that's what I try to explain to everybody. It's like, and again, part of it is not, somebody just told me something about me and my wisdom. I was like, I don't have wisdom. I'm just old. I've lived and seen enough of the garbage that goes on. I've read enough history books, and I've learned enough about history to where it always repeats itself.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's going to happen here simply because this is what happened in this country. This is what happened in this country. This is what happened under this regime. This is what happened under this ruler. It's like it always goes the same exact way. Mm-hmm. It's not rocket science. It makes it a little more difficult because they do rewrite books, and so therefore the history books have been rewritten, and so now everything has a different meaning.
And the books that they can't rewrite, they just ban.
Yes. And that's why I had to tell a younger girl one time. We disagreed on something. I said, here's the thing. I said, the biggest problem we have in America today is there's no truth anymore.
Right.
There is no truth. I said, because
their truth.
I said, what you've been taught is what you consider truth.
Right.
Same way as when I, 30 years earlier, was taught, I believed that was truth. Mm-hmm. I said, so therefore, now that they've changed history, and they're not writing it the same, I believe the way it was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I'm sure my parents were the same way. They believed, you know what I mean? It's like, so there is no truth because they keep rewriting the books. They keep changing it, so therefore truth changes now. And it's like, and people want to say, oh, well, what was one of the big ones? Oh, Aunt Jemima. They had to change that,
Yes.
Oh, that was racist. They stole that recipe from her, and they treated her like crap, la la la. I grew up during that era.
Right.
We used to see her on TV all the time. She was treated like royalty on TV all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was a regular figure all the time. Mm-hmm. Well, now it's, they treated her horrible, and she was so this and that. And I was like, I don't know. I know what I saw. I know what I was taught. I know what I witnessed, and none of it was bad. It was like she did real good for herself. It was like, I don't know. It's just,
I know I wasn't alive for most of those. When they started going through all those a few years ago. But the one thing that I noticed, all the ones that they kept taking off of every package just happened to be people of color.
Right.
They didn't cancel any of the white people off of the labels.
Right.
They only canceled people of color. And to me, that was like, you're taking their history, their lineage away from them. Mm-hmm. And trying to say that you're doing it because it was racist. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. You just took them off of brands and labels. Like, they built that brand. They built that label. Like,
And as a person of color in the 40s, 50s, and 60s of the United States of America, where it wasn't.
Yeah.
That was amazing when it was like, here's a person of color that actually did something great.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Oh, bunch of old white guys in Washington said, you know what? We treated them bad. Just take them right off of there. Don't give them credit for nothing. It's like, holy crap.
It's the most racist thing you could have done.
Yes. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know how we got on this conversation.
250 years, baby. 250 years in the making right here.
Oh, jeez.
That's right. 250 years got us right to this point here. Oh, when they can shut the entire world down because of a bad flu. I'm not even going to go into that.
Oh, goodness. Well, we might not be able to boost this YouTube, but... Yeah, that's out.
I'm just saying.
That was a really good cigar,
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, that Drew Estates-Undercrown Shade. Very smooth. I started getting a bad finish towards the end. That could have just been a big change in the humidity and everything, because it was starting to split and everything. But it, to me, if the first half of that cigar is amazing, that's all that matters to me.
All I ever used to smoke was Churchills, if you remember.
Yes.
Every time I bought cigars, I always bought Churchills. If I had to buy, like a lot of times I'll buy the cheaper bundles.
Yeah.
From Thompson's or from Cigars International or Best Prices, whatever. And I was always buying Churchills all the time. And that was why. It was like, I only enjoy the first half of the cigar.
Right.
And a lot of times the second half just gets old to me. So it's like, well, if I buy a Churchill, it's 7 inches. I'm getting 3.5 inches of good cigar. That's more than if I buy a Robusto that's only 5 inches long. I'm only going to smoke, 2.5 inches of it.
Right.
So it's like, that's all I ever smoked was Churchills for that very reason. It's like, well, I basically smoked a full cigar when I'm halfway through with it. So when I got rid of it, I didn't mind so much. But I just know the Undercrown Maduro.
Yeah.
When I finally tried one of those, I was really impressed with it. And then I started researching it, and I learned, I say, okay, this is literally, and I don't know if I've shared this before on here, but basically when they had the Liga Privada, which is their top of the line. That's their Opus X. That's their big one. And it was, the people that worked in the cigar factories, they all smoked.
Right.
And they could smoke whatever they wanted. Well, they were all smoking the Liga Privadas.
Why wouldn't you?
And so they was like, okay, wait a second. We got to stop doing this because, Liga Privada, I forget what it is, 10 years, 12 years, the aging on it. It's a long time. Long time for that wrapper leaf. A long time. And they were like, yeah, we can't go through that much wrapper leaf. This is a very specific wrapper leaf.
Right.
And so that's when they made, and it's literally, everything's exactly the same. They just use a different wrapper leaf on it. And so it's not as aged as long, but it's a different wrapper leaf, and that's it. Everything else is still the same. And so when I finally tried that Undercrown, it was like, because I've tried the Liga Privadas, and they are good cigars. Don't get me wrong, they're good cigars. And on occasion, I'll still buy one, for a special occasion cigar.
Yeah.
But that Undercrown, man, that Undercrown was fantastic. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I never did try the Shade, but I did try the Maduros several times. I've smoked quite a few of the Maduros.
I know, I can't wait to try this My Father's you got me. It's a pretty big cigar.
Yeah. That's AJ Fernandez.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the other, you got me a My Father's that I haven't smoked yet.
Yeah. Yeah, the New World, I like a lot of them. I think one of the brands that I don't think gets enough, and I always call them EPC. EP Carrillo.
Yeah.
Now then it became EP Carrillo. Now it's Casa de Carrillo or something.
Okay.
Because Ernesto is turning things over to the sons and the grandsons. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's changing through the family. So now it's Casa, home, house of. But he did what they call a trilogy series, and it was what was it? It was the original that he came out with, the original blend, but then they had what they called an encore, and so it's the EP Carrillo Encore.
Right.
And then they did what they call the prequel, so it was called the Pledge.
Okay.
Dude, those are some of the greatest cigars you'll ever smoke. Now in today's price range, they're probably up around $15 a cigar. Back when I first started smoking, those were $8 cigars.
Right.
And it was like, you know, $7-8 you could buy those, and it was like, my God, this is every bit of good. I'll tell you right now, the Encore or the Pledge, the Prequel, I would probably pick either one of those two over, definitely over a Padron 1000 series.
Yeah.
You know, the Padron 64 is pretty good. I like the 64 a lot. I forget what the other one is, 23. I would take the EPC Pledge or the Encore over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're just fantastic cigars, and they don't seem to get as much love as a lot of the other ones do, and I don't know why. I think the Encore, actually, I think it won Cigar of the Year, and it won it through a blind taste.
Huh.
Where nobody knew what they were smoking.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, almost everybody picked that same cigar.
Dang.
Yeah, I think it got like a 97 or a 98 rating or something like that. It's just amazing. But all three of those cigars, I think the original one was, it didn't win Cigar of the Year. It was number 2 Cigar of the Year.
Okay.
And then the Encore was number 1 Cigar of the Year. And then when the Pledge came out, it was number 1.
Dang.
So you had a 3 cigar series, 2 number 1s and 1 number 2.
Jeez.
It's pretty spectacular.
That's pretty good.
And when one of them is during a blind taste,
right,
that's just, to me,
that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, those are really good. What else you got going on? I got us off the rails, so.
Not a whole lot.
Nothing?
No.
Ready to wrap this thing up? I'm about done with my cigar, and I got Facebook Live to do tonight. So.
Yep. Gotta get ready for that.
Yeah, I gotta head up to Franklin for that one.
So guys, make sure you check out Badass Beard Care. Got beard oil, beard balm, hog wash, conditioner, colognes, deodorants, hats, t-shirts. They lit anything you need. They pretty much have it. Like I said, they're veteran owned, American made. Got $250 coming up, so make sure you use Steel Horse as a discount code when you go to check out.
Right on. All right. Well, Cameraman Wes, thanks for joining me. Thank you for my Father's Day cigar. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and we'll see you the next time.
Sweet.